Recording. Okay, welcome to SIG Cloud Provider for April 9th, 2025. We have just a few small agenda items, and let me share my screen to walk through a couple of these topics as well. Oh no, my screen sharing is broken, so I forgot about that. I guess I am not sharing my screen, but I will add anyone who needs to share for a specific topic. Uh, if we take a look and see if we have any needs triage issues, looks like we're in pretty good shape, except for we have a link for legacy cloud providers that's broken. So it looks like we have a little bit of link cleanup that we need to do. We'll take care of that offline. Make a note of that. But other than that, don't think we have any other open issues. So I will turn it over to Philip and Ryan if you want to bring your topic.
Yeah, sure. So we have this proposal for a new working group called Node Lifecycle. It has been discussed in the PR link there and in the mailing list, and also recently in KubeCon. And so basically, this is a free follow-up to two caps I did, which were called node maintenance and eviction request.
Okay. And I just made you co-host if you want to share, since my sharing is broken, if you want to share what you're showing us or what you're telling us about.
Yeah, I can try that. But I mean, I think I don't need anything specifically
Okay.
from the PR. So
Okay.
people can open it if they want. I will just talk first.
Okay. Great.
So yeah, so it's mostly based on the two caps I did, and it was hard to reach consensus. So there is a lot of moving parts and SIGs and components and actors, and so it was decided that the best way to continue with these efforts and is to basically create a working group. So
Okay.
you can look at the use cases there in the PR. And the main topic is basically that we don't have any API for the node maintenance. So there is this kubectl drain, which can be used separately, but many projects are importing that through the dependency on kubectl. So
Okay.
and there are many projects, other projects that are basically implementing the drain themselves, have different set of toggles or flags to actually make sure that the applications have leave the node. But this is not perfect, as we know. There is many gaps and issues that people are facing, and this and also even the whole eviction or deletion or termination as you want of the pods is difficult on the node. The APIs today are not very sufficient for all of the types of workloads. So there has to be hard decision made how to actually terminate the pods and in response to terminate all the nodes themselves. And so this this is why I brought this to this sake to basically get feedback from you, because since cloud providers have their running their own nodes and they care about the maintenance part. So I expect first we got first another a user use case in the PR from Michael, basically on the spot VMs. So one of the issues is that we could have different kinds of maintenances for different purposes, and this should be configured somehow and integrated with all the components well. So, and like the cloud provider comes here and maybe can tell like there are two use cases, like you can trigger the non-maintenance and could like use a new API that we might build, and also have like some integration with the status of how like when the maintenance happens, and basically how basically have some maybe hooks or something. So that's up to the discussion. And so yeah, so I would like to get like a general feedback from you, like if you are interested in this,
Mhm.
and maybe if some of you might be interested in helping us organize this group. So we are looking, as I said, like there are many multiple SIGs, so we are trying to reach out to all of them. So yeah, that's like mostly.
Great. Yeah, it's very interesting. And I do see the comments from like Tim and Michael in the Google Groups discussion as well. And I think it makes a lot of sense for cloud provider to be involved here. I'm going to put Joel on the spot and just ask him if he's had a chance to kind of review this as we're talking and see if he has any questions or any technical direction we want to make sure that we're going through here.
Yeah, I had a skim on it last week. Didn't see anything major, but it was only a skim. I will make some time to go through it more thoroughly.
Okay, wonderful. So that I wrote down as an action item that we'll review and give feedback as a SIG. Um, and I think that this makes perfect sense. So I appreciate you coming and bringing this to us. And especially because for these cross-SIG working groups, it sometimes can feel a little unmoored, like a little bit, who's going to actually participate in this? And I think this is one that SIG Cloud Provider, at least it looks like it makes sense for us to be involved. Um, what do you think, Joel?
Yeah, no, I think so.
Okay, great. Let's see, what other, if anything else, what other discussion, Brian, Philip, do we want to have while we're all on the call?
Yeah, like that. This sounds great. That you want to be involved. So yeah,
Mhm,
just let us know. Let us know your feedback on this, like before we start the group, and then
mhm,
how much involvement you wanna have in the future.
mhm.
Yeah, and yeah,
Are
I
there
will.
regular syncs for it yet? Or and are they
Yeah,
EU
yeah.
time zone friendly or
Yeah, not yet. So like we first like want to make rounds in each SIG, so to get actually the
Mhm.
feedback. So it should maybe by the end of the next week,
Okay,
and then we will maybe make a poll on how like what time slots like would suit the most people, I guess.
yeah,
Or yeah, I will let Ryan if he has any thoughts on this.
yeah,
No, I
yeah.
think I think that's good. I think like Philip said, we're making the rounds. It's all the SIGs and showing our faces and letting you guys know about this. And we would love
Mhm,
to have your participation. And I think like for next steps, like we're gonna have our goal is to we'll probably meet at some point very soon. Our goal is to really iron out our use cases, get alignment on direction. Um, so that'll be soon. I'm not sure the process. I guess we go through the calendar, we'll create a calendar invite, and
mhm.
then you should see it very soon. And yeah, we'd love to have as many
Yeah.
participants from the different SIGs as possible.
So apart from the charter, are there any other like technical design documents that you've got so far that you'd like us to review?
Yeah, so like there is a bunch of documents linked below in the PR. Like they mainly the caps or existing caps, like the graceful node shutdown and other like design documents. But I don't think they are like necessary to review at this point. Like we will have to like decide in like once we have the regular things on what topics like which are more like the most crucial to tackle first, and then we will I guess we will continue there. So for now I think the just like as Ryan said, maybe if you know about some other use cases or like, would you want to mention something specifically there? Or even if you like have some data set, like design documents you would like to have us link there, like so people could take a look at them, or like some past discussions, like anything we can like start with.
All right,
Yeah,
cool.
please let us know. Yeah, we really want to nail down these use cases. There are a few there that I think would be really appealing to the cloud providers. And so, let us know. I think, how they're worded, if they match exactly what your expectations are. We want to see if they, meet what you're looking for, and then if we're missing any, let us know. I think that's probably the main thing. And then, when we figure that out and we're all aligned, and, we can start having regular meetings, and we can start talking about caps and going through the regular process.
All right. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming to the meeting, and we will definitely be participating. All right. All right, our second agenda item, Lucas, and apologies that my sharing isn't working. I have to figure out what's going on with my Zoom, but you can share if you do want to. Otherwise, you can just talk through it for your watch-based route controller reconciliation.
I can try sharing, and you can tell me if it works.
Yep, we see it.
Perfect. All right. So I think I've also talked about this with Bridget and Michael last week at KubeCon. We've had the issue, or we often face the issue with our Cloud Controller Manager that users exceed rate limits because of the over-aggressive routes controller. So this is the original issue to this topic. Because the routes controller is still reconciling every 10 seconds by default, I think. And yeah, this just causes a lot of requests to our API and exhausts, rate limits. So we wanted to tackle this and also implement a watch-based solution to this, where we already put up a draft pull request for this. And yeah, similar to the service controller and the node controller, here we would just use the node informer and then update or reconcile the routes whenever a node is added, deleted, or when there are updates currently to the status addresses or the pod CIDRs. So one big question that we had today was, should we write up a cap for this? Or is doing this in a pull request fine? Should we write some additional document now again, or now before we really tackle the PR? So that's, I guess, the first question that I wanted to get answered, or that's why I brought it to the SIG.
I think one benefit of a KEP would be evaluation of the risk here, right? So this obviously is going to change every route controller in every provider, which is going to affect a lot of people. The PR looks surprisingly small based on what you've described it as, but yeah, there's obviously quite a lot of risk there, and I would be interested to see how we've looked at those risks and what we've done to mitigate them.
Yeah, especially I think the part where we decide on which, so we've decided on status addresses and pod CIDRs now in our first implementation, where we want to check if these are updated, then we want to trigger the reconcile. But there may be more fields which we don't have in mind right now, so I guess this is especially something to look at, and also maybe the feature flag. And yeah, the PR is quite small because we mainly only set up the event handlers, also very similar to the service and the node controller. And then we just trigger the same reconciliation loop, more or less.
Yeah, so I mean, totally get putting it behind a gate. That sounds reasonable to me. I believe to put a gate in, we have to have a KEP to kind of follow the life cycle of the gate and make sure it does progress over time. So I think whether you want to or not, we probably are going to need a KEP for this, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yes, and you're correct, Joel. We will need a KEP because of the gate, but also I wouldn't say unfortunately, because since it's such a small and lightweight KEP, this one shouldn't be difficult to get in. Because sometimes KEPs can, even to get to your, very first alpha of a KEP, it ends up taking quite a lot of back and forth. But this one, it looks pretty straightforward. So, do you have familiarity with the KEP process, or would you like a little bit of help getting the cup started, because I have some familiarity with that. So I'm definitely happy to help with that. Yeah.
So I don't do, because so this is my first pull request opened
great.
at Kubernetes.
Oh,
But
so
my colleague
exciting.
Julian, I think might be more familiar, and then I will check in with him, and if we then
Mhm.
face issues, then I would come back to you if this is fine.
Yeah, sure. So again, like getting, getting a new cup, it sounds like a lot, but it's actually pretty well explained in the enhancements repo. And so I will just link in the notes,
Yeah,
and
that
I'll
would be
link
nice.
also here to where you want to look. I'll put it here and in the notes. This is basically cup sounds very extreme, but if you even want to pop that link open, I can kind of walk you through. It's pretty simple. You're just determining, you've talked to the SIG now, the SIG says, yes, this looks like it does need an enhancement. And the enhancement is you create something that follows this template. So the KEP template is in the enhancements KEP folder, and it kind of has like, what is the goal here? What is the non-goal? What do we think the risks are? What's our plan for making sure it works the way we expect? Like, it's pretty self-explanatory, but if you have any questions about it, you can either bring it to the SIG or, message me asynchronously on any of the
All
Slacks,
right.
and I'd be happy
Very
to
nice.
spend more time with you on this. And I also
Thank
put
you
the
very
link
much.
in the chat of like the KEP template, so you can see what the template looks like. That should be
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
pretty doable. So I think
Mhm.
the action there then is to get it KEP started, and we'd be happy to give feedback on it while it's in progress as well. Anything you want to add to that, Joel?
No, that makes sense to me. I think probably want to tag at least myself, maybe Walt, well, probably Walter as well, Mike, and maybe Bridget to kind of help along that process.
And we'd be happy to talk about it in the next one of these meetings. You can just bring your in progress KEP and we'll talk about it.
All right, perfect. I'm just having trouble stopping my screen share right now, but
Oh, okay.
I think I would be done then with my topic.
I can hit stop on it, I think.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, Chris, you've joined us. Hi, Chris.
Hello.
Wow. Okay. I think that was all the topics we had on the agenda. Does anybody have anything else that they would like to talk about today? I'm sure that we will. I don't think the videos are up from KubeCon yet, but we did get to talk about SIG Cloud Provider at KubeCon, which was great. So when the videos are up from that, we'll be sure to drop a link. And then I imagine that we're gonna continue. Like, we've had the discussions about what are we going to, now that we've mostly finished extraction migration, which was the entire history lesson. The entire purpose of why SIG Cloud Provider was created was the extraction migration to get out a tree, which is great. Mission accomplished, but that doesn't mean that we're done. As you can see, we have plenty of exciting new things to do. So we're going to do some charter revision in the coming months to make sure that we make it clear that even though extraction migration is over, we still have plenty of exciting things going on here. So more to come on that for sure. Structurally, organizationally, etc. But I'm not gonna steal Almiko's thunder while he's out enjoying vacation. So we'll talk about that next time. Right? Anything else? Right. Thank you all for joining, and I look forward to chatting next time. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.